Hello and welcome to our Saturdays. Thank you, Robin. Hello and welcome to our Saturdays with Tara Hangout on Air. I'm Mary Beth at the Law of Attraction Club, and we're on the web at the LOAclub.com. This hangout is a summary of our theme for the week and will be followed by continued discussion and live Q&A on our member conference line. Then our Change Your World participants will stick around for their check-ins. Today's topic: are you suffering from a failure of imagination? If you do not feel the giant within you, the creative giant, the powerful giant, the peaceful giant, the joyful giant, then know this: it is there sleeping peacefully. You can get invites to our open calls, which we offer periodically, by going to the LOAclub.com. So now we're turning the call over to Robin and Tara.
Are you suffering from a failure of imagination? If you think you cannot imagine where you want to be, you're wrong. You choose what to think, and there's no power in heaven or on earth that can prevent you from making that choice. We have heard some of you make the comment that I'm not very good at imagining things, to which we say, what do you really mean by that? Because your world is a thought-created world. And from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you are thinking. And there is no difference between thinking and imagination. It just depends what you mean by imagination, doesn't it? Everything that exists now is as you have imagined it to be. Everything that ever existed, your past, is as you now imagine it to be. Memory is just another word for imagination. If you leave the store and want to find your car, you have a picture in your mind of what your car looks like. And as you look around, you are seeking to match that with the images that are in front of you. If you are sitting somewhere and want to get a book from the shelf, a particular book, you know what the book looks like. And you have that in your mind as you go to the shelf and seek a match to that image that you are imagining, and then you get the book down. So can you see that you're always imagining, you're always thinking, you always have pictures in your mind? And if you say you're not very good at imagining things, then what you are saying is, I can think of things that are real, but I'm not good at thinking of things that are not real. And we say none of it's real. So all of you have an active imagination. We just encourage you in this conversation, in this discussion, we are encouraging you to get outside the 9 dots a bit, to get away from the idea that there's something real out there versus something imaginary. So let us ask you a question. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? If you are a subscriber to a physical world and a world that has evolved over thousands of years, millions of years, then there's a story about how life was created from a single cell and evolved and evolved and evolved and evolved to the point that there are birds that lay eggs. And so so which came first, the chicken or the egg, is not even relevant in that context, because it's a process of evolution. But can you see that time is an artifact of your world? And if it's part of your world, it's something you've created. And so there is no first. When you get to the essence of it, there is no which came first. There is in your world the things that you place in your world by your expectations of your world. And they will be as you expect them to be. So to all of these questions, if you seek an answer, you need to go within and say, what am I creating within my world? Everything that will ever exist, your quote unquote future, is as you now imagine it to be. If you do not imagine where you want to be, you shut yourself off from the possibility of ever being there. If you do not imagine yourself being successful at creating what you want, and only you can decide for you how to define success, then you will fail. It is not possible for you to create anything outside of the boundaries of that which you have come to define as your expectations of the world. And so success is one of that, however you define it. Success is one part of that. If you do not imagine yourself being skilled at pivoting away from a negative creation into better feeling thoughts, then pivoting will always be a struggle. Can you see what we are getting at here? As we have often said, to create what you want is not simply a matter of defining the end result and manifesting that, because the journey to that manifestation is also yours to create. Do you wish to create an easy journey, or do you wish to make it hard? Do you wish to make it short, or do you wish to make it long? Do you wish to beat through the underbrush, or do you wish to step onto the yellow brick road? It's up to you to imagine yourself into whatever manifestation you desire through whatever path you desire. If you do not see yourself being in alignment or being enlightened, and only you can define what those words mean for you, you are settling for status-quo-itis. And we are about to make a statement here which takes our thinking and our processes a little further perhaps than we have ever gone before. Not only are you settling for status-quo-itis, you're containing yourself within the boundaries of previous imaginations. And those are stored away outside of those boundaries. Can you see what we're saying here? Time is an artifact of your world. You settled on this method of having events arrive in a sequence. You decided that was the way things would be. And then you stored that expectation, if you will, outside of the boundaries of your world. So as you think within the boundaries of your world, time is ever present. You could say it's basic, it's fundamental, it always exists. And we say it does not always exist. It is an artifact. It is an illusion. It is a creation. It's just that you have moved the decision to create that outside of the framework of the world that you are now settling within and playing this game. And so can you see the implications of that? If there are some things within the boundaries of your previous imagination that you no longer want, then you have to step outside those boundaries in order to tackle those previous decisions. If your default choice right now is to slavishly believe in reality, and you practice believing it day by day and year by year, if you do not feel the giant within you, the creative giant, the powerful giant, the peaceful giant, the joyful giant, then know this: it is in there sleeping peacefully. If you are leaving the giant asleep, then we say, wake it up. So let's take some time out right now with a very basic thought. Let's wake up the giant. So get quiet here in your mind and begin by remembering who you are. At your essence, you are not a human being. That's just your avatar. It's just the form you have decided to live within in order to play this game of life on Earth. You do not exist in a space-time world. That's just the movie set. The essential truth about you is that you're a thought form. You're a stream of consciousness. You're a timeless extension of the collective consciousness of all that is. Let yourself be aware of what you are. Imagine it. Does that feel small to you? Of course it does not. It is a huge idea because you are a huge idea. Some time back when this one was listening to Abraham through Esther Hicks, they talked of a thought becoming a thought form and thinking. So a thought could think. And for the longest time, this one could not, for the life of him, understand what that meant. He could not get to the place of understanding what they were getting at. And of course, all of these infinite ideas that are at the essence of who you are being described by everybody, us and you and others, in finite language. And as long as we're using finite language, some of these concepts are going to be difficult to describe. For example, timelessness. Can you describe what timelessness is? Can you even think of what timelessness would be? And yet, at your essence, you are timeless. You're eternal, if you like, everlasting, if you like. But there is no such thing as everlasting. There is only timelessness. And so rather than get to you being a thought form and you therefore being created by your thoughts, which seems like a paradox, does it not? How can you, if you do not exist, think yourself into existence? And the answer is you are thinking, the paradox exists because you are thinking in terms of time. What came before what? What came first, the chicken or the egg? What came first for you, the desire to do something and to create something, or your existence, you see? And the answer is both occurred together. Your desire creates you, and you have a desire. You have experience. You experience things that are in your world as you have come to create them to be. And so we talk of a thought form, which you are. And in different versions of you, as you think, you create new versions of you and new versions of you and new versions of you. And that is what Abraham through Esther were talking about when they said a thought thinks, because as you think and make a decision, as you think and have imagined ideas about expectations and new worlds, so different worlds begin, different versions of reality begin. And we know we are being a little mind-boggling in all of this, but we are wanting you to understand the essential nature of who you are here. You are not a human being. That's just the form you have adopted. And the world around you is a match to that thing that is you. It is a huge idea because you are a huge idea. And so today, instead of talking about thought forms, thinking and creating new thought forms, and thinking and creating new thought forms, we are boiling it down, if you like, to a concept of what is within you. And we are talking here about the giant that sits within you. And perhaps that's an easier thing to imagine. It's an easier thing for you to bring into consciousness. And all of these, of course, are just ideas that are flowing and moving and allowing you to step outside the bounds of who you are and what you've already created to create something new. When reality presses in upon you, and of course it does for all of you, because you're engaged with that world and you're mesmerized by that world and you're caught up in that world, remember that you're creating it. And it's simply working exactly as you designed it to. Be easy with yourself. Be kind to yourself. And remember that some of those really entrenched thought patterns are about to change. And pick your time. If you're down, it may not be an ideal time to try to wrestle yourself to a better feeling place. Just relax. And in a better moment, choose to imagine good things. Say hello to the giant. And imagine this. It's about to become the best friend you ever had. From Abraham through Esther, you can tell by the way you feel in the midst of what you are doing, whether you are perceiving from the wholeness of who you are, or whether you've got yourself crossways of the current and are disallowing your broader point of view. In other words, if you stay within the boundaries of your old ideas, there will be times when you are pinching off your connection, because some of those old ideas are not what you want. To create new things, you have to step outside those boundaries, which means you have to see reality for what it is. It's a fraud. It's an illusion. It's just a game. From Abraham again. If you are disallowing your happiness, you are disallowing everything you believe will make you happy. What does disallowing mean? Let's look at the opposite. If you're allowing your happiness, what does that mean? That means you are allowing yourself to imagine that which you want rather than that which is in front of you, that which you are experiencing. And so disallowing your happiness can be insidious and invisible sometimes, because you are merely reacting to the world as it is. You are wrestling with the world, trying to survive in the world and thrive in the world. What could be more normal and natural than that? And we say within that world, which is a function of the previous decisions you have made, and the boundaries exist because of the previous decisions you've made. And as long as you sit within those boundaries, both physically and mentally, you are disallowing, on occasions, your happiness. because you come up against things within that creation of yours, within that expectation tapestry of yours, that you are not looking for, that you are not wanting, that you are seeking to change. And so disallowing your happiness can be as simple as simply wrestling with the world as it is. And that seems like a reasonable thing to do. And we say, for as long as you are practicing that world reality, as long as you are in that place of accepting the world as real, you are on occasions disallowing your happiness. And disallowing everything you believe will make you happy. If you're disallowing clarity, you're disallowing everything that you believe will make you feel secure and sure-footed. If you are disallowing yourself to step beyond the bounds of that which is, you are closing off possibilities for you. If your default choice right now is to slavishly believe in reality, and you practice believing in it day by day and year by year, if you do not feel the giant within you, the creative giant, the powerful giant, the peaceful giant, the joyful giant, then know this: it is in there sleeping peacefully. If you are leaving the giant asleep, then we say, wake it up. We say you can make a new choice. We say, make a new choice. Your new life depends upon it. Good.
This Hangout on Air was the summary of our theme for the week. We do 3 live calls a week with live Q&A on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays during the summer, and back to Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays in the fall. You can become a member by going to the loaclub.com/join. This Hangout will be followed by continued discussion and live Q&A on our member conference line. And then our Change Your World participants will check in. And by the way, if you'd like to see what our Change Your World program is all about, you can go to the loaclub.com/changeyourworld. So now back over to Robin and Tara.
Good.